This is Football at 4.
To watch Chicago go in there and physically, offensively do what they did to Philadelphia's defense, it felt like a defense that knows the offense right now is not good, and they were just holding on. I have not seen anybody push around the Philadelphia Eagles defense the way that Chicago did. And so you're watching this defense almost like break. There's nothing left for us to do. We've tried to keep us in games as long as we can.
That was Dan Orlovsky talking about the defense. Is there concerns with the defense? Is it a one-time issue? And he was talking about it like, hey, we're doing everything we can, but you're not holding up your end of the bargain, offense. We're going to get into that and more. Is there concerns with the defense? So much about the offense has been discussed, but let's talk about the defense. Adam Caplan from the Inside the Birds podcast, which you can get on all podcasting platforms. And, you know, he talked about how physically beat up the Eagles got by that Bears team. Is there a concern with this defense, or is it a one-time thing, Adam Caplan?
No, that's what I put in my notes. It's a great question because it's the reality of it. This defensive performance might come out of nowhere. Their defense is playing such a high level for a while now, and even better with Jalen Phillips. So then, Mike, they got manhandled. We talked about this, Jeff Mosher and I talked about this on our post-game show. Not only did they get moved a lot, the lack of discipline up front, they got moved off the ball. It was crazy to see them being powered by the Bears offensive line. I know that the Bears have a brand new interior of their offensive line, 2 guys are required by trade. Ken and Drew Dolman was signed in free agency, but they got manhandled. This doesn't happen. I believe on your question, and I wanted to address this, we won't truly know until we see what they look like against the Chargers Monday night. I expect them to be fired up. I strongly believe, based on the coaching, which is typically outstanding, I expect them to come out really well. And we'll talk more about this on Friday, Mike, but I think it's a one-time thing based on what I know about how they're coached. Clint Hurtt's a phenomenal defensive line coach. Was once a defensive coordinator for Seattle, coached with Vic and with the Bears. Vic, you know how great of a coach he is and how great their staff is. Their front seven was by far the worst that they've played, Mike, since they've been here. I mean, it was awful, Mike, in 2 years that Vic has been here with his staff. So I know Dan Orlovsky very well. I just couldn't disagree more. It's not like mentally, we're sick and tired of having to carry the load here, so we're just going to quit. No, that didn't happen. So it's just, but I do say this though, and maybe Dan meant this: the linebackers and some of the assignments on the front, Mike, they did some things they normally wouldn't do. They didn't play their gaps correctly. I wouldn't say there was hero ball, but they had a lack of discipline in that game. The tape showed it. I mean, I'm telling you, I know that for a fact, and that is a concern. And we've not seen that before from this group.
Well, they have allowed 348 yards through the air to the Cowboys, then 281 yards on the ground to Chicago. So they're getting beat in both aspects. 898 yards allowed over the last 2 games. It's the second most it's allowed in any 2 games in the Sirianni era. So they're getting beat by land and by sea, it feels like.
Well, in the Dallas game, let's not forget, Dallas is behind. They had to throw. Yes, Eagles got them. They got hit hard. And obviously Jackson got hurt in that game. We know that. So, and they got handled there. And Caleb Williams, by the way, that was probably his worst game. I know the wind was bad. He didn't throw the ball well. Hurts didn't throw the ball well. The passing games, as I told you Friday, might be a problem. It was. Or whenever we did our football for last week, is on Wednesday. I said the weather's probably going to be bad. It was. But, Mike, as we move forward here, it's just a one-game situation. There's no reason to think, based on the way they coach and based on the effort of the players usually prior to this game, that this is going to be something we're really concerned about. There's no reason to think that because it's not happened before, but it's certainly on my radar to keep an eye on.
So the defense, a one-time issue. Okay, they got the Chargers coming up. By the way, Justin Herbert with that broken hand. We'll see what his status looks like when Adam's back on Friday's show. So everyone's talking about the defense. What can we expect with this offense going forward? What is missing offensively? Everything.
Yeah. Well, all right, I'm going to start for the one thing. We forgot to talk about this, and it's shame on us. It's a small thing, but it's big with Tank Bigsby. I don't understand what, like, you're having trouble moving the football, particularly running it. No one suggested who has a brain that he should be taking over the starting job. But why would you not give Bigsby a little bit more of a role? I just don't understand it. I don't understand. You can't give him 6 to 8 carries when you can't run the football. That to me is bad coaching. I mean, Mike, Barkley was okay in this game. Over 4 yards of carries, better than he has been for most of the season. But they need to use him as a change-up. Bigsby is such a contrast in styles. I was flabbergasted. Like, what are you guys doing here? You have trouble scoring. It's windy. You can't throw it. Do better, man. That's the stuff that Patullo and Sirianni control. That's inexcusable to me that he didn't get more work.
Well, yeah, he had 9 carries in that game against the Giants, and really since then you would think, maybe, look, he added a little spark to this run game at over 100 yards. They have really – I don't think he has 9 carries total since that game. Ridiculous,
Mike. That's bad coaching to me. That again, control the controllables. They have control over that. That everyone who's an Eagles fan knows this. Bigsby's got some juice. He gives up. Why did they make the trade then? And by the way, he's not even – and we told you it was nonsense that some of the reporters were putting out that they brought him in to be a kickoff returner. It was complete nonsense. That would be part of it. They wanted him because A.J. Dillon, that turned out to be correct. A.J. Dillon was not good enough. He wasn't consistent enough, and now he's been benched. And A.J. Dillon's not a good enough kickoff returner anyway. By the way, Dillon's on a 1-year deal. Bigsby has this year and next year left. So he can play, man. I mean, you got to get something out of the guy. And I don't – this is just bad. This is just not good coaching.
What do we think about Adam Caplan football at 4 here, getting Hurts a little bit more comfortable? How can they get that possibly to get his confidence going?
Yeah, and I've talked to you, Mike, ad nauseum, really now for 2 seasons. Kellen Moore didn't do a good job of this so late in the season. Getting Hurts comfortable early in games, get him comfortable with easy passes. That's got to happen. But the other 2 things I'm going to add here, continue with the changeup of Hurts under center. Boy, that did really well. More of tempo like that as well. And the design runs, listen, we'll never know for sure. I'm not going to even speculate because I don't know. Nobody else knows. If Hurts said he doesn't want to, like McNabb, what I had heard back obviously when he was an Eagle, in the second half of his career with the Eagles, that he didn't want to run as much. And plus, McNabb had been beat up with several injuries over his career. So, and he didn't want to run as much as what I was told back then. This is going back, obviously, a couple of decades. But with Hurts, don't know, but man, and he definitely adds something. They seem to only do it in the gun run on a clear, and it's worked, by the way, in those gun runs on shotgun with empty sets. Like with empty, that means 5 wide, no one in the backfield. He's got a Red Sea parting, Mike. It's actually really worked pretty well.
Yeah, and I would like to see Adam, let's say they go 3 and out, and that happens every now and then, not the rate that they generally do. Hey, we went 3 and out last series. Let's run a little tempo. Let's run a little hurry up after going, They don't seem to have a little change of pace at all. They don't run the screen game at all. That's another way they can get creative and get guys touches.
Another thing in my notes, Mike, when they've run it, it's actually not been too bad. We've said on our offense on around the league when we talk to people on our show that people we talk to said it's a bad offense, it's a bad scheme. Well, again, this is something they control, Mike. They do very little that other teams do that is just normal. It has nothing to do with Sean McVay and trying to be different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just staples of an NFL offense in the 20th century. I just don't understand this. Don't give me that Hurts can't handle it. That's nonsense. I'm not buying the vanilla stuff anymore with, you can only do certain stuff with Hurts. There's certain things any NFL starting quarterback can do. Or, by the way, you shouldn't be playing if you feel you can't do it.
Is there, Sirianni said everybody will be evaluated, all the stuff, and then it's, hey, you made the evaluations. Are there any changes? I don't know what they could change. Is there any change player, something they could do, even something on a minor level that might unlock something here?
Well, look, a coach from another team gave me something really interesting. He doesn't know Sirianni, but he said when coaches are struggling, sometimes, and I'm not saying Nick is doing this to be clear, sometimes they limit how much access the coaches have to the quarterback, or maybe sometimes there are too many voices. We talked about this in 2020, Mike, on Football 4 on our platform as well, that it was Marty Morningwood, believe it or not. I don't know if you know this. Marty was a quarterback consultant for Hurts. He was actually there. He was with the quarterbacks, but working a lot with Hurts in 2020. All these guys that they've, Rich Scangarello, who I debate whether even Peterson wanted him. Too many cooks in the kitchen. So maybe it's a great question, Mike. Maybe he's got a limit. Maybe he's got to just limit this stuff and just come up with a couple people involved and just get Hurts going here. But Mike, they are 8-4. They're a game and a half up. I know Dallas has got momentum now. Those trades are working out for them. But they're healthy on offense, Mike, other than Lane Johnson. This is absolutely embarrassing. And as one coach from another team told me, he used to work for the Eagles, who said that Jeffrey Lurie must be embarrassed and upset about what he's seeing because he wants a world-class offense. He's getting anti-world-class here.
He's getting a good ACJFL football offense. By the way, a couple of quick notes. Darius Slay has been released by the Steelers. Any interest there, or they do have a need at?
Let me go inside. Yeah, let me explain. Okay, so here's what I'm told. He was benched. He didn't play last week. He's healthy. One source told me he didn't really fit their scheme. It's Mike Tomlin's defensive scheme that they're running there. Mike doesn't run it, but someone else is running it for him. But it's just he didn't really fit. He doesn't move all that well. He's near the end. He's definitely lost a step. Now, he obviously knows the system from Fangio. He obviously won a Super Bowl with it. He's near the end, Mike. If he clears waivers now, one person said to me, it would not be surprising if he took the deal that Adam Thielen got to be released because he has to be released slated, that he has to take a pay cut. You know, he's making $11 million, which is prorated. But to get released, typically they're going to ask you to take a pay cut. Oh, we're doing you a favor? Well, we're going to release you. Then you got to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
That could actually make his contract more claimable. He's subject to waivers. Every player who's cut, including vested veterans, are subject to waivers after the trade deadline. So, Mike, here's the thing, though. If you're the Eagles, well, first of all, you'd rather you wouldn't want to claim him. You'd rather just bring him in and sign him to your practice squad. Why? Because that way you don't keep him when you're 53 unless you know what he looks like. That way there's no monetary. All he gets is a practice squad salary. But we're looking into it. But Mike, if I'm Howie, what is the harm? He's a good teammate. I know he turns 35 in January. He's the oldest cornerback in the National Football League by far. But what do they have to lose at this point? Jackson's not good enough. We know that. What do they have to lose by bringing him in and taking a look at him?
All right, good inside stuff there. By the way, it just announced December 20th, Philadelphia, Washington. That will be a 5 o'clock kickoff. That is the Saturday game against the Commanders, a 5 p.m. kickoff. Adam Caplan, everybody. Back on Friday. We'll get you ready for the Eagles and the Chargers. Thanks, Adam.
You got it. Thank you.
There he is, Adam Caplan. Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast.